It's amazing what we can capture these days with a simple phone camera. Those times when something unexpected happens and you wish you'd captured it are no longer a thing. However, it appears that the things to photograph are becoming weirder and more incredible. These are the top 10 moments you wouldn't believe if not filmed. But before we start, don't forget to punch the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Also, like and share the video with your friends, and don't forget to watch until number 1 because it will be a big surprise to most of you. Number 10. Kids swinging at each other at a junior wrestling match. The first clip we have is from Denver, Colorado, where a person was recording a junior wrestling match between two teams. Now, wrestling, unlike other combat sports, doesn't permit any kind of hits, and the only thing that you can do is grapple and slam each other on the floor. But during this match, things got a bit heated to say the least. During the bout, one of the wrestlers, whether by accident or intentionally, elbowed his opponent in the face, which enraged his opponent, who went on to throw 2 punches at him. The referee was very lenient for some reason and allowed this to happen. Just right after that, the same guy started taking wild swings again, and this time the referee intervened to stop the altercation. Number 9. Wrestler ends up shoving his finger down his opponent's butt. During this amateur wrestling bout played in the US, one of the wrestlers ended up using a very unorthodox way to try and get the upper hand over his opponent. The fight was going pretty evenly, but in the middle of the bout, one of the wrestlers decided to use a move commonly known as checking the oil in amateur wrestling community on his opponent. This is a very sketchy move, in which the wrestler shoves his finger down his opponent's butt, creating a very awkward and embarrassing situation for both the wrestlers. Number 8. Fighter throws his towel at his opponents, resulting in a brawl. Face-offs are always one of the most interesting things leading up to a fight. It happens just before the day of the fight, where both the fighters come face to face for an intense stare-down session which many times goes awry. One such incident was caught on camera when one of the fighters in the face-off walked up and threw his sweaty towel at his opponent's face. It's safe to say that the opponent didn't take this very lightly and ended up punching the fighter squarely on his jaw. The ensuing brawl was very chaotic and nothing could be made of it apart from both the sides trying to separate their fighters. Number 7. Danny Williams and Mark Potter, the unimaginable tenacity of Williams. During a professional boxing bout between Danny Williams and Mark Potter, fought on the 21st of October 2000, Danny Williams, who had the upper edge during the entire match, dislocated his shoulder during the start of the 6th round. This was a catastrophic incident for Williams, as his right arm was his dominant arm, and dislocating it would mean he wouldn't be able to punch effectively, nor will he be able to defend properly. Everyone thought that the fight would be called off, and Williams would end up losing. But in a surprising show of grit and extreme tenacity, Williams decided to keep on fighting till the end for his dignity, with a dislocated shoulder which was definitely giving him a world of pain. The spectators and the commentators were left awestruck when Williams ended up TKOing Potter and winning the match. Number 6. Blowing a kiss in an MMA match. During a cage match in MMA in Wyoming in 2009, the fight was about to start and both the fighters were positioned opposite to each other for the face-off. During the face-off, both fighters got very close to each other's faces. It would not be far-fetched thing to say that they were in kissing distance, and after that, what happened was unbelievable to the spectators. One of the fighters ended up blowing a kiss to his opponent just as the face-off was ending. This made his opponent enraged to no extent, and an all-out brawl broke out inside the ring with people from both corners trying to separate the fighters. Number 5. The infamous Maidana-Broner hump. During a recent grudge match between Maidana and Broner, spectators and fans both witnessed a surprising sight inside the ring. It's very common for the boxers to corner each other and unleash a flurry of blows, while the other one is on the rope. What's not common though is what Maidana did to try and disrespect Broner. After a flurry of attacks in which Broner cornered Maidana, Maidana clinched Broner and went behind to hump him on the back multiple times. The crowd was irritated at his poor show of sportsmanship and started booing at Maidana for how he disrespected Broner. But karma is a bitch, and it came right back to bite Maidana in the ass. After a couple of minutes, Broner clinched Maidana and proceeded to hump him on the back in return. The crowd, after witnessing this, roared with cheers and laughter. It was a funny sight, I'm not gonna lie. If you're enjoying the video, please subscribe to the channel. It's 100% free and you help us a lot. Alright, let's continue. Number 4. Don Fiery vs Yoshihiro Takiyama. This is a legendary match which was fought between America's Fiery and Japan's Takiyama. This was arguably one of the most explosive and nasty bouts ever fought. Both fighters came from each side of the ring and had no intentions of defending themselves. They wanted to land a knocking blow since the first second of the bout. Both the fighters ended up clobbering each other's faces in a flurry of punches, with neither of them trying to defend themselves. Takiyama started bleeding profusely from his nose, and after a couple of rounds, the referee ended up stepping in and concluded the match by giving Fiery the win over Takiyama. Number 3. Pechdam Pechindi Fortnite Dance. Pechdam Pechindi is a Muay Thai fighter who has been fighting for decades now and is one of the most influential fighters when we talk about Muay Thai. During one of his matches, he walked up to the ring dressed in a shark suit and started doing a dance. Yep, you guessed it, a Fortnite dance. No one knows what his reasoning behind this was, but he seemed to have fun, and that's what we should all care about most in today's world, I think. Number 2. Running around the cage from the opponent. What's the worst thing you can do inside an octagon? Well, if you ask me, I would say it'd be running away from your opponent. During a match held in the octagon, the fighters started the bout after the face-off. But it was extremely apparent that one of the fighters was extremely intimidated by his adversary. So much so that he started running around the cage while his opponents were confused and giving him a chase. The least we can say is it surely was a one-of-a-kind spectacle which left the crowd roaring with laughter. Number 1. David vs Goliath matchup. This massive fighter was feeling a little bit too confident coming into the matchup. Seeing that he is against his smaller and weaker opponent, he started throwing caution to the winds and just charged straight at the smaller fighter, trying to hit him with his massive arms while dusting away the opponent's attacks. At one point, the bigger fighter shoved the smaller guy out of the ring and he thought he'd all but won the bout. But instead, it came as one of the biggest comebacks of the night, as the smaller fighter landed a beautiful hook to the temple of the bigger guy, knocking him out and winning the bout. And that's how we conclude our list. Out of all these clips, which one was your favourite? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll handpick and feature your comment in the next video, so don't forget to comment. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you hit the like button to show your support. It was a pleasure to talk to you guys. Please like and share the video with your friends, and until next time, we'll see you then.